to right. Throw to the plate, not in time, and China strikes here in the first. A ball left side, Ito the shortstop, the second one. Back to first, there's De Silva, fired up. It's pretty, but it's chilly. Night falls on Tucson, Arizona, as day 2 of the WBC qualifiers continues here at Kino Sports Complex in Tucson, Arizona. Tonight, it's Colombia and China wrapping up our day 2 doubleheader all across the world, and we are so happy to be back with you once again alongside the former Pittsburgh Pirate and Chicago Cub, Stephen Brault. I'm Greg Caserta, and we've talked about it quite a bit. 1 minute in this bracket, you're on top of the world, and then the next, you're feeling the heat.
As we saw that with Germany today, losing a heartbreaker to Brazil in a 9-7 victory. Colombia and China going tonight.
Colombia trying to become the first 2-0 team in this qualifier last night. They did it all, and it started on the mound with their veteran, and he was good.
Julio Teheran, 6 shutout innings, only 1 hit, a bunt single, 6 strikeouts, just looked fantastic. And behind him, that Colombian offense also looked great. A few extra base hits for Dilson Herrera here today on his birthday. Jesus Mariaga, a few hits. Just overall good offensive pressure from the Colombian team.
It was amazing because Brazil did not have a hit until a bunt single in the 6th inning. We saw Teheran carry the load for 6 innings exactly, only needed 54 pitches, and it ended up a 5-0 shutout for Colombia. On the flip side, China, they got walloped yesterday. Germany just Donnybrooked them 12-2. 7-inning game. It was called early because of the mercy rule. They better have a short-term memory here tonight.
You just got to flip the page, you got to shower it off, and you got to make less mistakes. 4 errors last night and 13 free passes, 10 walks, 3 hit by pitches. Against a team in Colombia, you're not going to be able to make those mistakes and come out with a win. It just won't happen. So a lot of adjustments have to be made tonight here by Team China.
A loss for China puts them staring down the barrel at 0-2. They are seeking an upset of the heavy favorite in this qualifier. That would be 13th ranked Colombia. But this upset can be done, and we're about to show you why in just a moment. Lineups and first pitch are coming up in a bit. But first, we'll show you the last time Colombia was left stunned in the World Baseball Classic.
Now Young, the switch-hitting leadoff man. You got a better hitter up now, but there's 2 outs. Base hit into left field. And Great Britain has tied this game. He hits one hard into left field. That's a base hit. Run to second. 5-3, Great Britain. And Harry Ford has gone out of here. Great Britain stretches the lead. My goodness. Great Britain looking for their first ever win after qualifying for the World Baseball Classic. Swing and a miss! God save the king! Great Britain has done it!
Colombia ranked number 13 in the latest World Baseball rankings. Here's how they've fared in their last 2 trips to the World Baseball Classic. We have touched on some of these games and how heartbreaking they've been because of how close they've come. The DR game in 2017 and then back-to-back losses to the U.S., both of those games decided by a single run. It's amazing how one fortune here, one break there, we could be looking at this country and at this team in entirely different light, Stephen.
Colombia is used to qualifying. They've had to qualify for both the last 2 WBCs, having to do it again here, though, because their success in the WBC has been so close, but just not close enough. And so Jose Mosquera, the manager for Colombia, trying to change that around this year. They want to sweep this tournament so that they feel really good going into that WBC next year.
Colombia's roster features 10 players with big league experience, by far the most in this Tucson qualifier. And if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Exact same lineup from yesterday in their 5-0 win over Brazil. And boy, we love the kid at the top, Michael Arroyo, top 100 prospect in all of baseball in the Mariners organization. Harold Ramirez was 1 for 5, but he hit into 3 double plays last night. Reynaldo Rodriguez is their leader, and he was 0 for 2. Then you got Gio Urshela. He was spectacular at third base, added a triple, and the list goes on and on. In that 5-0 win over Team Brazil, 10 hits for Team Colombia, 5 doubles plus the Urshela triple. Maybe we'll get a dinger here tonight.
My story here for yesterday was Jesus Mariaga. He has not played professionally other than in the Colombian Winter League with Jose Mosquera the last 2 years. Obviously, he saw something that he really liked, putting him in his starting lineup again. And
we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Dilson Herrera turning 31 here today. He had 2 doubles last night. And now you get your first look at Hai-Jin Woo, the 24-year-old from Beijing, standing 5'11", 163 pounds. Pitched in the Japanese Winter League this offseason, only made 4 appearances, so a bit untested. And he deals with Arroyo as the trumpet sounds. We are underway on a 56-degree night, all bundled up here in the booth. Strike 1 on Arroyo, who was actually intentionally walked at one point last night. Strike 1 delivery. And we're going to see some movement from Hai-Jin Woo. You can see from that arm action, he's going to let that ball dance.
This is going to be something, a very different look for Colombia. They're going to have to wait back a lot.
Like that. Except Arroyo could only get a piece. So if you're a righty like Arroyo, you let that ball travel, let it get deep, and then let it eat the other way.
And a guy with the arm action of Woo, what you can do is get people looking away. Their whole game plan is going to be hit the ball the other way. Well, guess what? 80 miles an hour on the inside part of the plate when guys are looking the other way looks a lot faster.
We're working with Shuai Wang behind the plate. We'll tell you about the rest of the defense in a moment. That one palmed outside. And I got to tell you, I really liked the all reds from Team China yesterday, but these whites are spectacular.
Yeah, they're clean. I like that. The China C with the dragon on top is one of my favorite single-digit, symbols.
2-2 now. And it's lofted foul. So again, we have to remind you, because this is now game 4 in our 7-game voyage, that there are the pitch rules and regulations. So these drawn-out at-bats where a hitter like Arroyo gets in there and fouls a few off, that certainly bears weight on the starter Woo.
Starting in the first inning as well, you're trying to get every at-bat over as quickly as possible.
And there he wears one on the backside, exactly where you want to take it, right in the meat. And Arroyo takes first to bring up Harold Ramirez.
Yeah, unfortunate right there to have to battle in that at-bat and then lose him with just a slider that just slipped right out of the hand. And Michael Arroyo, I mean, he's going to take that. You'll take that free base. A little bruise maybe on the thigh tomorrow, but he'll be fine.
Not that this is an important stat or number, but at some point I'm going to enlist one of my buddies in our MLB Network research department to check in on the final total of hit-by pitches in this qualifier.
There's been a few already. That's the 4th for China in their 2 games.
So we mentioned Ramirez, who hit into not 1, not 2, but 3 double plays last night. Runner goes, great jump, pitches waved at and missed. Throw down was strong, but dropped. And it's an easy stolen base for Arroyo. And if you watch, Ramirez on his backswing kind of teetered over home plate just a bit to block the view.
Perfect stolen base there. Good jump. Not a very fast delivery to the plate, and not a fast pitch to the plate either, but that ball had been caught at second base. Would have been a close play, but Arroyo definitely in there. Saw that. That was what he did last year, is what makes him so special. 23 homers, 18 stolen bases.
You called him a potential 30-30 guy down the road.
He's got time to develop.
Harold Ramirez last year DFA'd by the Rays in June after playing in just 48 games. The Nationals then signed him and called him up at the end of the month. And he reaches out, lining one to second, and that time Arroyo got lost on the bases. He gets doubled up, and China catches a break as Harold hits into his 4th double play in just 24 hours.
A different way, but he did it again. That's a hard play as the runner at second base. You're pretty far off the base. You take a big secondary. That one right behind the bag. You take a look at where Arroyo is. That first step on a line drive, no matter what, has got to be back to the bag. I don't even know if he would have gotten back anyway, but you can't be jumping off.
Another hit by pitch, and this time it's Rodriguez getting plunked up high.
And that's the last guy you want to see in a dark alley. That's a big boy, Ronaldo Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah.
Although it might have, let's see here, did it catch him on the bat? Nope, he got hit.
I think he's just a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That one high up near the shoulder.
Taking his sweet time. And his manager and former teammate Jose Mosquera is not even going to bother to check on him because he knows that the big fella can be a bit ornery sometimes.
Oh, right on the forearm.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. That's not going to feel good.
On a cold night.
Yeah.
56 degrees at first pitch, which is chilly in these parts.
Yeah, there's people in other parts of the world right now who are very upset with that. 56 would be very welcome, I'm sure.
And I got to tell you, watching this top of the first from Hai Jian Wu, Shuai Wang's going to have to do a lot of moving around behind the plate because everything Wu throws moves.
And we'll say, though, might be able to keep these Colombian hitters off balance.
Yeah.
Effectively wild it only is effective if you can get in the zone every now and then, though.
So maybe now you're Colombia, you take a page out of Germany's book where you can really be super selective at what you're looking to swing at. They play Urshela to pull on the left side. And there's another one. This time Wang's got to dive out to get it.
We talked a little bit about before the game, you and I, about the fact that one thing we don't want to see here tonight are the Team China pitchers avoiding the strike zone, being afraid to be in the zone. You got to be in the zone to get outs.
Like right there, Urshela lifts it, but it tails into the right field corner and bangs around the metal seats. We had a great crowd on hand earlier today for a wild game between Germany and Brazil. Germany hanging on by the skin of their teeth, 9-7. And Germany had so many opportunities, but just couldn't cash in. They never led in the game. Runner goes again. It's Rodriguez on the move. Throw down. He's got a stolen base. He can still move at 38 years old.
That was... Sometimes you have to decide who was at fault for the stolen base. Was it the catcher not getting a good throw, or was it the pitcher not holding the runner on? Right there, you see the lead that he got, basically a walking lead. Wu just not paying attention at all.
And that's already 2 steals here in the first for Colombia. Now, this could be a very tricky evening for Hai Jian Wu because you could tell he's just trying to nibble and not make any mistakes.
I've always thought, you know, obviously throwing strikes is harder than a lot of people give it credit for, but you got to get in the zone.
That time he lays a cookie in there. Urshela fouls it away.
Because there is no such thing as success if you aren't in the zone. It's one of the reasons I love baseball so much. In basketball, you can run out the clock. In football, you can run out the clock. In baseball, you got to throw the ball over the plate.
You'll be exposed eventually.
Oh, yeah.
17 pitches, only 8 strikes from Wu. 24-year-old fires, and Urshela making it very difficult on him as he continues to foul him off.
That was a pretty good pitch there. Coming back on that outside corner.
I mean, just look at the pitch sequence so far to Urshela. Slider at 70, curveball under 70, changeup at 80. Everything's been in the low 70s or high 60s for the most part.
So I think that changeup is actually his fastball, I believe.
Okay. And that pitch breaks away. So here in the first from Hai Jian Wu, 2 hit batters and now a walk. And Colombia is going to get their steps in. It brings up Jair Camargo out of the 5-hole.
Talked about too many free passes yesterday, and we already have 3 today for Team China.
And a stolen base from Rodriguez to boot. Camargo, big swing and a miss. He did the catching last night out of the 5 spot. 1 for 4 with a double and an RBI. Rodriguez directing traffic at second, taking his lead. Urshela advancing off first. And there's a good spot on the corner, 0-2 from Wu.
After going with the breaking ball, getting the swing and miss away, he brings back that fastball in the outside corner.
Nice close-up look at Jair Camargo. Doing the catching once again tonight for Colombia. There's Rodriguez in your frame.
That slider does look like it's got some tight bite to it, even though it's not very fast, about 70 miles an hour. But from that arm angle, it's going to be awkward anyway, but also looks like some good late bite.
I was going to say,
Ground ball rolled over softly to short. Wu's got it underhands in plenty of time, and the inning comes to an end. Lots of clutter, but no runs for Colombia. China coming up right after this. China coming up for the first time after falling yesterday to Germany 12-2 in 7 innings. The mercy rule in effect in that one. 4 new players in today's lineup for manager Wei Li. And one thing that I think caught us a little bit by surprise is that number 8 spot. Shuai Wang doing the catching after Ning Li got the start yesterday and was 2 for 2 with an RBI.
Yeah, a little bit of a shakeup here, more so than any of the other teams in this tournament in day 2. So we're taking a look at Rio Gomez, son of the late, great Pedro Gomez.
Pedro passing in 2021. First pitch swinging, Tenyuan Hu. And he's got a leadoff single. We've got an ambush, and the first hit belongs to China.
Had a knock yesterday. Comes out, lefty, says, you know what, first pitch, probably the best pitch I'm going to get. Probably get a fastball here, just goes out and gets it.
And I think we can agree that that 12-2 final sounds a lot worse than it actually was, because China had 9 singles in 7 innings. We know that they don't have a lot of thump in the lineup. And there were plenty of chances for them. 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Left 8 on the bases. And there's Gomez peppering the zone. Strike 1 on Pei Liang, who was the biggest contributor. 3 for 4 with a couple of runs, accounting for both against Germany.
I do appreciate that Rio Gomez is coming back home. This is where he went to college, University of Arizona, right down the street here in Tucson.
Great changeup right there. Rio's mother is Colombian. He actually pitched for Colombia in their 5-0 loss to Canada in the last WBC. Inning in a 3rd hitless against Canada. 0-2, and he just blows Liang down for out number 1.
Did a fastball up above the zone there. Got Liang chasing, trying to be a little bit extra aggressive in the 2-strike count. Rio Gomez, unbelievable numbers in Taiwan this last year. You see right here, that's a good fastball. Kind of gets underneath it a little bit, pushes that up above the zone.
You mentioned it, pitching overseas in Taiwan, Rio was spectacular. And 92 1/3, run around the move, pitch waved out and missed, throw down, 1 hop, tag back, and it was close. Nice pick by Acuna, the shortstop. But it's a stolen base for Tenyuan Hu, and just like the first inning against Germany, China's threatening.
New break here from first base. I think it was actually a hit and run, and it really delayed the catcher, Jair Camargo, from being able to get out there in front and make that throw. I mean, that was close. Tagged him on the body.
Yi Zhou at the plate. Swings and misses again, 0-2.
Sure looks like, based on arm path and stuff in general, that Rio Gomez is going to be really tough on these lefties.
Joe just 20 years old. Lefty on lefty here. Breaking ball popped up off third. Urshela near the coach's box right there to put it away.
That slider was the best one you're going to get to hit, probably. Started up and in, went right down the middle, and looked like Joe just kind of falling off to the first base side a little bit. Couldn't quite get the barrel there. Missed a good one to hit.
What one of my old broadcasters would call a dastardly slider. One of my old broadcast partners from back in the day. Here's Samuel Benjamin, 0 for 4 against Germany.
Back in the day? I mean, you're 36. How long ago was it?
9 years ago.
All right, I'll give you.
I think that qualifies. Anything over 5 back in the day.
That's the qualifier there.
Here's pitch number 9 from Rio. And he's got the breaking stuff working. And you said it, in Taiwan, he was just brilliant. 92 and a third innings, pitched to an ERA of 1.17.
I mean, that's success. That'll play. 1.17 in Taiwan. You're still facing professional hitters. That's impressive. And it's consistent. I think that's what's most important. That means he was good every time. No blow-up starts there if you're going to have a 1.17 ERA.
This was after 6 seasons in the Red Sox organization. He became a free agent after the 2023 season. Rio from the third base side. And that one just moving in on Benjamin. Carves him up 2-2.
Slider moving one way, then that fastball, a little sinking action moving the other way. Man, that's going to be tough to hit.
Had some bite on it.
Yeah. Sinking underneath the bat. Samuel Benjamin, who had a tough day yesterday, 0 for 4.
Runner at second is who? Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts for Rio Gomez. And he makes quick work of China, sending us to the second. Dilson Herrera has shined plenty for Team Colombia. This one 9 years ago in Panama. And as my partner said, he Sosa'd it. Watch the little shimmy. Little Ruben Sierra in there as well. That was back in his heyday as a Mets top prospect. Dilson Herrera at one point, Baseball America's number 46 prospect going into the 2015 season. And he was also a Futures Game participant in 2013 and 2016.
That seems like a large gap in between Futures Games.
I noticed that too. And here he is. Stay hot, kid. Base hit right center field. 2 doubles yesterday. And a leadoff single in the second here tonight against China. Bit of a juggling act out there in shallow right field, but Tenuan Hu hangs on.
And nothing is fooling Dilson Herrera right now. Happy 31st birthday.
Oh, look how quiet that swing is. There's not a lot of movement there, so a slider that's a lot slower than what he's used to seeing going away from him, and he does such a good job of keeping his hands back and then just throwing them at the ball. Nice drive into right center field for Herrera, like you said, on his birthday. Yep. You say he's 31?
31. You ever pitch on your birthday?
I don't think I ever did, actually.
Really?
Isn't that sad?
Yeah, it kind of is.
Never got a birthday off, though.
First pitch strike to Brian Buelvas, who last night was in the same spot in the order, same spot in the defensive alignment. 1 for 2 in center field, an RBI, a run, a couple of walks. Also stole a base. And takes a vicious cut right there as Wu attacks the zone a little bit more frequently here in the second.
Yeah, good to see him kind of get settled in, and even more importantly, give up a hit to Herrera and still be in the zone.
This one popped up down the right field line. Samuel Benjamin has it lined up, and he's got it for the first out.
Still got a little bit of wind going out to right field, but nothing like game 1, which was we saw a few wind balls missed out in right field by Yannick Walter, unfortunately, out there today. And there was one on the other side as well, but just not going to carry quite as much tonight, but also at night, usually the ball does get a little bit extra anyway.
We still only have the 1 home run in this qualifier thus far. That came from Donald Lutz yesterday in that win over China. Here's the guy you talked about earlier, Steven. Jesus Mariaga, who was 2 for 4 with a double and an RBI last night. Mariaga just 0 for 3 in the 2023 World Baseball Classic. So if Colombia gets there, this guy could be a big contributor for them at just 26 years old.
Yeah, and kind of a surprise top contributor of that first game.
That one in on his hands, and it's 0-2. So
but his swings, I mean, they've been good. They've been consistent, hard contact. He had 2 hits yesterday, but the hardest ball he hit was actually went for an error out to left field. He hit right on the screws.
Herrera with a short lead on at first, shuffles off now, and this one scooped out into center field. Li Yang running back near the track. He's got it. And that time the wind helped him out. Herrera has to return to first, but again, Jesus Mariaga gives it a ride.
Man, right on that, barrel to the ball. Look, the truth is, with a guy throwing slower, you're going to have to provide all the power yourself. And so you're going to really have to get it. That one, if it had gone to the right side of center field, we may have seen a home run there. But it's the left side, knocked down just a little bit. Good job running it down by Li Yang out in center.
2 things right there. Li Yang did a nice job running it down, and I thought Mariaga kind of lunged and still muscled that ball out there.
Right. And he knew he didn't get it off the bat. You know, he was frustrated with the fact that he didn't quite get that.
Here is Francisco Acuna. 1 for 3 with a double and an RBI against Brazil, and that one smoked off the pitcher Wu. That's down for a base hit. And it caught him in a spot that he might not feel now, but he certainly will later on.
Yeah, I think it hit him in the ankle. Yeah. Looks like he's kind of kicking that out, saying he's fine. I don't need your help.
That's a tough cookie right there, because that ball was hit very hard.
It was. Look at that, right off the, maybe the top of the foot. I think he got hit in a good spot, fortunately, because you see a lot of guys get hit down in that ankle area. You get hit on a bone, and it can be really bad.
Second single of the inning for Colombia. Lineup turns over to the top, and that time Arroyo was waiting on that breaker.
Let's take another look. Yeah, so just the top of the foot, top of the shoe. Not going to feel good. He's going to have a bruise, but protection a little bit instead of just that bare ankle.
Adrenaline and juices flowing right now. Colombia is saying, you know what, you hit 2 of our guys, we're going to hit 1 of yours. It's not exactly how you draw it up. And it was Arroyo who did get plunked to begin this ball game. That one sprayed right center field. Li Yang running back. Li Yang won't get there. Michael Arroyo watching it and waiting. Colombia 2-0 here in the second.
I mean, I feel like we're seeing something really special here. You know, obviously, This is a different kind of competition that Mikel Arroyo is finding himself in right now, but so young with a lot of potential and so calm in the box. He just takes his time, gets the barrel to the ball. That one, like I said, go to that right side of center field. You see that ball, it gets a little bit more carry. Liang was playing a little bit in, but no chance he was going to get that. Great swing, 2 RBIs, and a quick 2-0 lead.
And you look at the 20-year-old Arroyo and go, he's really not that big, and that's because he's not. He's 5'8", 160, but he just put a charge into one.
Compact, that's what he is.
Yeah, and that's why the Howie Kendrick comp, I think, is really appropriate.
Yeah.
Howie was not a big guy, but when Howie was at his best, he could bring it. See some throwing in the China bullpen out in right field. 2-0 after the Arroyo double. 3rd hit of the inning. And Harold Ramirez looking to double the lead as he falls over home plate.
I don't know what you're talking about. That was a very in-control type of swing.
One-speed Harold, that's what we'll call him.
Oh, I love it.
Lined out into that double play back up the middle in the 1st inning. Arroyo got caught off second. And there's a strike, 1-2.
We are seeing a different side of Wu here in the 2nd inning. We're seeing a lot more strikes, a lot more command. Unfortunately, got a little bit too much plate.
A lot more contact. That was pitch number 40. 23 in the 1st. 2 runs on 3 hits here in the 2nd. Mikel Arroyo, MLB Pipeline's number 98 prospect, with a 2 RBI double into right center. Ramirez launches it foul.
And that's a good adjustment right there. We call that over-adjusting. So sometimes in baseball, it's hard to make the little micro adjustments you have to make. And so instead, you go all the way to the other side. He was way ahead of a pitch earlier, so he waited back as long as humanly possible to spray that one down the right side. Maybe now you find that middle ground.
He doesn't have to. That one gets by Wong, and Arroyo's down to 3rd. I said it in the 1st inning. Shuai Wong has to do a lot of bouncing around horizontally behind the plate.
I was thinking about that. There's a possibility that Li Ning, who was the catcher yesterday, ended up not being in here today because he had to work really hard yesterday. He blocked a lot of baseballs. So, I mean, it makes sense. You might want to flip these guys back and forth if you have the opportunity.
We just hope that you get some of that offensive production. Ramirez again makes the adjustment. And this has to be just annoying if you're Hai-Jin Wu, because you're coming out, you're doing everything you can, but you just can't put these guys away. Harold Ramirez trying to pick one out on 3-2. And he grounds one again. It hits off Wu. Here comes the runner. Infield single and a ribby. 3-0 Colombia. And this time, Wu's down.
Yeah, that one definitely looked like it hit a lot more flush. With the team Colombia approach right now clearly being staying up the middle of the field, the truth is you kind of get put in the danger zone. It's the reason I hated throwing away to lefties, because I didn't want them to hook around it and hit it right back up the middle up to me. And that one right there just up, and Harold gets on top of it, and that one does get him in the shin.
Yep, so the first one caught him off the right cleat. This one hit him off the left shin. That's the old 7-10 split, and it knocked him down.
We call that the shin burger. I don't know why. I don't know where that's from.
I was going to say, where did that come from?
I have no idea. It's just one of those old baseball things. You get up to the minor leagues, you're in spring training, and some guy who's been in baseball for 54 years comes up to you and goes, "Oh, you got a shin burger," and then it sticks.
I wonder if it was shin burner, and then it got bastardized over time.
Probably. Yeah, that sounds about right.
But I know that his shin's burning right now. Hai-Jin Wu has been getting thwacked here in the 2nd. RBI double, or 2 RBI double from Mikel Arroyo, and just a moment ago an infield single that hit off his right shin, or left shin, to make it 3-0. The RBI knocks for Colombia coming with 2 outs.
To draw a comparison to something you said a little bit ago, he hit 2 guys in the 1st. Now he's been hit twice in the 2nd.
Say we're square at that point.
Yeah, everybody's even.
3 runs on 4 hits. The Arroyo double, and then 3 singles from the Colombians.
This inning was a single and then 2 flyouts. And now 3 hits in a row.
Well, let's not forget, Mariaga flew out to deep center field. It was not a cheapie by any stretch. And now the outfield, especially Yi Zhou in left, extremely deep for Reynaldo Rodriguez. They know about his power. Rodriguez, one of those hit-by pitches in the first, and then a surprise stolen base. Don't see too many of those from the 38-year-old. And he's late on that one. 0-2.
Yeah, you're trying to stay back, and then, like I said, 80 ends up looking a little bit quicker because you're looking for what he's been throwing at times, 71, even slower than that.
Swing and a miss. There's the first strikeout for Hai-Jin Wu. But a big second for Colombia. They go up 3-0 on China. Mikel Arroyo lit the fuse for Colombia with a 2-out, 2 RBI double in the top of the second, and the goods are there for this young man, just 20 years old, and one of 7 Seattle Mariners minor leaguers amongst the top 100, ranked by our good friends at MLB Pipeline, by far the most around baseball right now. Jiaji Chen swings through. There's Mikel. Saw him play a pretty nifty second base. This is where he is tonight. He also has a purple glove on, so he's all over the map with his style. 0-2 on Chen.
It's maybe something a little under the radar for some folks, but it is very rare for second basemen to be really high up on prospect lists, because second base not usually a power position. It's not usually a position that people start in. Usually it's shortstop.
Swing and a miss. Third strikeout for Rio Gomez.
And those people eventually get moved to second base when it's found out that their defense won't work at shortstop. So it's rare to see a full-time second baseman at that position in the top 100. It shows you what he can do offensively. What they're really seeing is that bat.
So in a word, can I ask, has second base been devalued?
Right.
In a way?
Well, the difference is that a very good second baseman is incredibly valuable because they're so rare. You know, you look at guys, you know, Alex Bregman might be playing second base in where is he now? Boston this year, for example. That could be so much help, because when you get a lot of offense from that position, it just helps your offense so much.
Ming-Shin Zhang at the plate, his first appearance here at the WBC Qualifier.
Really? Yeah, that's right. What are the others?
One of 4 newcomers in this Team China lineup here tonight for Game 2. And what's great, too, about watching Rio Gomez, we talked about his father, the late Pedro Gomez, and you could see the facial similarities at certain angles. And there's a lot of Pedro in that face. You could see it around the jawline. No, Pops is proud right now. This one nudged softly to third. Gio Urshela. Oh, wow.
That's the second error for Gio Urshela, and it's just not something you see very often.
No, and you know what? I don't like to say this very often. I know Gio Urshela is a very good player. That, to me, looked like a little lackadaisical. Took it a little too easy there. You know, look, this is still, it's a slow grounder, but definitely a play that he knows he should make, and it just kind of kicked up on him a little bit because I think he was a little too lackadaisical because he knew it wasn't hit hard. But once again, it hit that dirt in front of home plate, which here, that's adding so much spin. And so just kind of not fully engaged on that play. I think you'll see that that will not happen again.
I guess because China's the home team, it's a hometown call because Mingxin Zhang was given an infield single. Second hit off Gomez. It brings up Yu Yang Lee. And that's a good job by Camargo to peel it back and take a strike.
I know you don't care about this, but I already wrote an error in pen on my scorebook.
I did the exact same thing.
Unbelievable.
So I do care. I care a lot.
Good movie.
Lee 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the 7th, gets the bunt down. Camargo takes charge, and that's a heck of a sequence by Yair Camargo, showing off the goods behind the plate and out in front of it to whip it down and get the out.
That was a great play. Fundamental catcher baseball right there. Just throwing off the mask, getting up, calling your pitcher off, telling him just get out of the way, and then doing a great job of just getting around it. Bare hand, that's a difficult bare hand too, because that ball was still rolling away from him. So actually a very good play there that he made look pretty easy.
And Rodriguez with the good footwork and the inside target, giving him a nice path to throw towards. One fouled off by Wang.
And don't discredit Gomez. He got out of the way like a good pitcher should. I had a problem with that.
Really?
I wanted every ball around that area.
Ball hog.
I know.
2-3 on the sacrifice. 2 outs for Wang. Also appearing in his first game at the qualifier, and it's 0-2. So this is something that Stephen Brault refused to do during his time as a pitcher.
Look at this. You see Rios starts to move in a little bit, and you see Camargo just a one sharp jab with the glove. Get out of here. This is mine. I love seeing that. Catcher's taking charge. Very important to have a field general catcher. I think that helps so much.
Pitch up, throw back. They got a chance. Throw to third. Urshela the tag. It gets away and trickles into the dugout, and China gets gifted a run. That time, they probably should have held on to it. A game of chicken, and China prevails. It's 3-1.
I don't really know exactly how they're going to score that one, but I think, you know, I don't think they had any chance to get him at third. I think that secondary was almost intentional to get so far off the bag that when that throw comes down to second, he's able to take off. A little hesitation, and then gone, right? I think that may have been an intent, almost a delayed steal, but in a little bit of a different way.
So it shows Team China that, okay, we give up a 3 spot, but we can come right back and get one of our own.
See, that's a good.
And as I expected, it's a stolen base for Zhang and then a throwing error on Michael Arroyo from second base.
Yeah, Urshela put in a bad spot there, having to try to reach over the runner and make the catch at the same time. A little bit of shaky defense here for Colombia in the infield. Start it here today.
When you think back, if Urshela makes that play off the bat of Zhang, could be looking at a 1-2-3 for Gomez. Instead, China's on the board 3-1, and Gomez finds himself in a 3-2 count.
Yeah, good at bat being put together here by Wang. Not an easy pitch to lay off there. The fastball up. Such a nice looking pitch. You just, oh, I'm going to crush this, and then you just swing underneath it. Good job of taking that one.
Outfield very short for Colombia. And Wang drawing some applause from his mates in that first base dugout.
It's like on the chart you're standing all the way in the back between the whole road.
It's crazy how young all these guys are on Team China. I mean, this is a team that's most likely going to be together for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Curious to see how it develops as the years go forward.
Get out the juice boxes. I think that Shuai Wang should get another one.
Is that a reference to backyard baseball? When you had to have a juice box to...
It wasn't, but good on you for picking up on that one.
I played a lot of that as a kid.
Payoff. That's nasty. Rio Gomez digs deep and comes back, and just like the first inning, picks up a couple of Ks. China gets a run back. It's 3-1 through 2.
Back here in Tucson, just want to show that last pitch, how rude it is from the lefty perspective. He saw so many fastballs running away from him, and then a backdoor slider. Guy that fighting off pitches like that, sometimes you got to change. You're going strike to ball, trying to get swings and misses. Well, now you change it, you go ball to strike, and you get that take. Great pitch there from Rio.
So Hai Jin-woo is out of the game. Zhen Yi is in the game as you get a look at Rio Gomez in that Colombia dugout. Everybody sporting a team-issued hoodie tonight. Tell you more about the Chinese right-hander in a moment. Gio Urshela in for the second time. He walked in the first. So Zhen Yi, I guess he's old for this pitching staff at 24 years old.
Yeah, basically.
So I got to bring you back to the 2023 WBC. Gio, tapper to first. Lee, the second hop in the flip. And he's there to cover on a 3-1 put-up. So let's go back. Zhen Yi made 2 appearances in the last WBC for China. He faced 10 hitters, but could only retire 1 of them. So that right there in and of itself is a step in the right direction for the 24-year-old out of Guangdong province. Here Camargo, the hitter.
One of the few players on this China team that does have experience in the minor leagues. Signed with the Brewers for a little while. Struggled in rookie ball.
Camargo drives it left center field, hanging up there, and there's the center fielder, Pei Li Yang. He can do it all, and he races over in plenty of time for the second out.
That one just off the end of the bat, I think, of Camargo. Didn't quite get all of it, and so the first movement, as it should be, by Liang, back, and then he has to come in and try to get that. You see that just off the end of the bat. Camargo frustrated that he couldn't quite get that one. See them communicating out in center field.
Nice job by Liang to take charge, and then Yi Zhou to peel off, coming over from left field. 5 pitches, 2 outs for Yi, looking for a 1-2-3 third. And he's got to deal with the red-hot Dilson Herrera, the birthday boy, who led off the second with a single and the first of 3 Colombia runs. Yi exclusively out of the stretch. A little hesitation in the delivery. So against Japan, he struck out Munetaka Murakami for his only recorded out of the Classic. He then allowed a single to Shohei Ohtani and a walk to Masataka Yoshida, eventually allowing 4 runs.
It's a cool strikeout, though. Expect to see Murakami in the United States here at some point. Call him the Japanese Babe Ruth. Big left-hander, punch and pop.
Like snacks, yeah.
2-1 on the way. And Herrera fouls it off at the plate.
4.
Definitely a different look for Colombia. A guy in Wu, the starting pitcher, coming down by the side, and now the replacement coming straight over the top. 2 completely different looks. Trying to. That's what the Rays would always do, right? Just give you different looks, make it so you can never get comfortable in the box.
And there's Herrera taken care of to close out a 1-2-3 for Zhen Yi. Bottom 3 we go. Colombia up 3-1 on China. A beautiful look at Keno Veterans Memorial Stadium here in Tucson, Arizona. It's the final WBC qualifier with 4 teams vying for the last 2 spots in next year's big tourney. Alongside former Pirate and Cub Stephen Brault, I'm Greg Caserta, producer Mike Trainer, and the rest of our crew happy to be with you, bringing you game 4 of 7 in this Tucson qualifier. Earlier today, we saw a back and forth muddy affair.
That's a good description, right? Muddy, yeah.
Got a little dirty.
Yeah, some really good baseball, some unfortunately bad individual plays that ended up meaning a lot in that game.
That one breaks the bat of Chi-Rei Wu, soft grounder to second. Easy play for Arroyo for the first out of the inning. A 9-7 win for Brazil, edging Germany and complicating matters for the Germans a little bit in their bid for their first WBC.
Yeah, now they're going to have to play Colombia tomorrow night. And of course, this Colombian team the favorites, but anything can happen in this WBC. And that German team tried everything they could. It was the pitching staff, unfortunately, that failed them, and a little bit of defense that ended up being their downfall in the game earlier today. So you kind of put all that together a little bit better. That offense for Germany has been fantastic, scoring 7 runs again today after scoring 12 yesterday. So Colombia's pitching staff is definitely going to have their work cut out for them.
Corners in for Tenuan Hu. He bailed out, and Gomez delivered a strike.
Yeah, we should get a
Rio Gomez, as Stephen pointed out before, was a pitcher at Arizona from 2015 to 2017. That one nudged off the plate. To the right is second, and Acuna drops it on the transfer. Would have been tough with Hu running out of the box. Likely an infield single, and China's second baseman on for the second time.
Yeah, I don't think you had a chance there. That ball was chopped so high. That one actually off the plate, so we can't blame the dirt.
No.
But you see how high that one went. It'll be almost impossible to make that play. The transfer and throw would have had to have been incredibly quick. That's why you see
he could move.
Oh yeah, look at him go. We saw that yesterday as well.
So Tenuan Hu with his 3rd base hit of the tournament. China now with 12 singles and less than 10 innings of work. Remember, they were mercy ruled in the 7th inning yesterday by Germany 12-2. So the mercy rules are as follows: either a 15-run lead through 5 or a 10-run lead after 7. And they were on the receiving end of that from Germany.
Yeah, an interesting walk-off win in the 7th inning due to run rule on a walk-off walk. A bit anticlimactic.
Pei Liang. It was 3 for 4 with a couple of runs. You see the current standings after today's results. Colombia trying to get in the driver's seat at 2-0 with a win here tonight, leading China by 2.
You know, I haven't seen too much of Pei Liang, but after, you know, watching him these last few days and talking to hitting coach Ray Chang about him, I believe this is the best pure hitter that they have on Team China. He's actually got a lot more pop than you think. Did hit a home run in the WBC. A good compact swing, and does a great job of getting good pitches to hit. Has an awesome eye.
And I touched on this last night. He really struggled as China's leadoff hitter in the last WBC. He was just 3 out of 16. So far here, he's already got 3 hits in less than 2 games. Hands out on the right side. And he swings through. Throw back to first. Very close. In the meantime, Rio Gomez picks up strikeout number 5. And Jair Camargo, I got to tell you, partner, he looks really good behind the plate.
He does. That's the 2nd time we've seen them try to get that back pick down to first base. They did that yesterday as well. Neither of them have worked out, but they've both been very close. And more importantly, they've both been perfect throws from Jair Camargo. So, I mean, you don't have to worry about those throws going errantly. He takes his time. He makes a good, strong throw on the bag. Eventually, he'll get somebody.
Yadier Molina would have loved that one. As Gomez continues to deal, ball 1 on Yi Zhou.
I don't think we'll see Camargo do the no-look throw down to first. That's one of my favorite plays I've ever seen.
There was a catcher in the Rays organization many years ago, Oscar Hernandez, who had a cup of coffee with the Diamondbacks. You guys might have overlapped at one point. And he did it so nonchalantly, where he would almost throw a lollipop to first. And I saw it work on 2 or 3 occasions, and every time it blew my mind.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's just about doing the unexpected. You don't necessarily have to do something crazy. just doing something out of the ordinary can catch people off guard.
A rare 3-ball count here for Rio Gomez. Trying to make it through 3 innings. 3 singles, a run, and 5 Ks for the Miami, Florida native. The kick and the pitch. And he walks Joe on 4th.
That's a nice, easy at bat. Now China threatening here. Samuel Benjamin still looking for his first hit of the WBC. And if Team China is going to score runs, they need Samuel Benjamin's power. They've completely missed out on it so far. Benjamin struck out earlier today, but yesterday 0 for 4 and didn't really hit anything well. Was getting jammed over and over again. Broke 3 bats in 3 different at-bats.
There is good reason why he is in the cleanup spot as they go out to have a word with Rio Gomez. As I was saying, he pitched here down the street at the University of Arizona from 2015 to 2017. The Red Sox took a flyer on him in the 36th round in 2017, back when the draft was that long. But he was teammates with the likes of Bobby Dahlbeck, Kevin Newman, Scott Kingery, Kevin Ginkel, Alfonso Rivas, and Tyler McGill. Good program there at Arizona.
Oh, I mean, obviously. Kevin Newman, a good friend of mine. He was a U of A grad. And I just
not just a player.
Actually, you're right. No, I think you're not.
He was close.
So I always get I get alumni newsletters from the college I went to, Regis University, and I'm always like, I mean, technically I'm not, though. I didn't graduate.
They're proud of you, partner.
Yeah.
Tying runs out there. Here's Benjamin, 0 for 5 thus far through 2 games. And again, I just don't love that idea. We talked about it in game 1. A guy misses with 4 straight out of the zone, and then you go up there just hacking.
Yeah, make him show that he'll come back into the zone, because sometimes it can make you feel like almost the zone gets smaller and smaller as you throw more and more balls.
This one's squibbed off 3rd, 0-2.
And so sometimes just a hitter swinging is the biggest gift that you can get out there on the mound. It kind of recenters you, because you realize, like, oh yeah, I just throw it in the zone, and then they're not going to hit it all the time. In fact, most of the time, they're going to get out when they do hit it.
Samuel Benjamin, the type of player that we love talking about in these types of events, because outside of baseball, he works as a biomedical engineer at Texas Medical Center in Houston, Texas.
Wow. That is that's impressive.
That's an extinguished alumni, or a distinguished alumni, I should say. 1 and 2 now.
Yeah, I don't get the distinguished alumni newsletter. No, not that one.
No, Fordham University is always asking me to donate. I said, I think I gave you enough money. But I'll definitely donate to the radio station. 1-2. Listeners supported. And Rio Gomez continues to strike out Team China. 2 punch outs in each inning. We move to the 4th. 33 Colombian players have played in the majors, with 19 of them debuting in the last 10 years. We saw Julio Teheran last night throw 6 innings of one-hit baseball. Nabil Crismat was supposed to be on the team, but was held back in spring training. Gio Urshela manning third base, signing a 1-year deal with the A's. And Jose Quintana, we found out today, agreed to a 1-year deal with Milwaukee.
Yeah, great to see him. Milwaukee loves their, not soft tossing, but slower throwing lefties.
Worked pretty well for them in years past. Cuevas unloads, deep drive, center field. Lee Yang running back to the track, and it's off the wall. Cuevas digging for third. He's got it no problem. The question now is, will they wave him through? And the throw comes through. Leadoff triple. Cuevas gave it a ride.
Cuevas, just a great swing. Pitch over the middle of the plate, goes down and gets it. Perfect, barrels it up, and I mean, it's a really tough place to hit a home run here, because out in center field you got to hit it over that batter's eye to get it out. You see him take off right out of the box. Wanted that triple. Good effort there by Liang, but
and I will say the walls here are not forgiving. There's a lot of bounce back. We saw it right there as Liang made that leap up near the 405-foot marker. Infield in for Jesus Mariaga, who flied out to deep center his first time. And there's ball 1. So Jen Yi, after a 1-2-3 third, gives up a crack shot early here in the 4th.
You know, talking about Colombian players who have been in the major leagues, the first Colombian-born player ever to play in the major leagues was Luis Judd Castro. It was in 1902. 1902, he played for the New York Yankees, won a pennant, won the World Series, played in 40-something games, never played in the big leagues again after that.
I knew you would get that in eventually, because we found that out yesterday, courtesy of your research, and found it very interesting. 1-1, deep left field. Forget it. Jesus Mariaga, the legend grows.
His first at bat, he almost did that. Just missed it, hit a ball very well, but up in the air. And that one immediately off the bat. Everybody in the stadium knew that was gone. That was a line drive fly ball, perfect barreled. And now we got the dance before home plate. I love it. Arriaga could not be feeling any better in this tournament. And just look at the contact. Listen to this. Ooh, man, that's a loud sound. Arriaga has that short swing straight to the ball, finding barrel after barrel.
And when you hit a home run that high and that far, you can dance as much as you like. Oh, yeah. Jesus Mariaga says hello and makes it 5-1 Colombia with another smack. So bullpen change coming for China. Perfect timing. Lun Zhao takes the mound here in the 4th. Second reliever for China manager Wei Li.
Deals a strike to Francisco Acuna, who got on with an infield single and scored in that 3-run second for Colombia just a moment ago. A 2-run blast out to deep left from Jesus Marriaga. And it's now 5-1 Colombia. After China got to within 2. Marriaga plated 2. Now 3 RBIs in the first 2 games of this qualifier. And overall, he's 3 out of 6. And Acuna takes a look at strike 2.
Un Zhao, a great story. An unfortunate story, really. Did get picked up by the Milwaukee Brewers in 2018 when he was 16 years old. Got to pitch a little bit in rookie ball, but then injuries and COVID eventually brought him down.
That's in on the hand. Soft liner to second, grabbed by Hu for the first out.
And unfortunately ended up actually retiring on his own volition from professional baseball. And then in the Frontier League in 2024, he was going to play, but unable to get the right visa. And so ended up not. And now he's here playing with Team China.
The 23-year-old has said he hopes he'll be able to play there this season, so a chance that we see him bouncing around the U.S. in the Frontier League. Michael Arroyo at the top, batting for the 3rd time here in the 4th. And he's already been on twice, a hit by pitch and a stolen base in the 1st. And then a 2 RBI double to open the scoring. He had Colombia's 3rd run in the 2nd. Know that the Seattle Mariners online presence very happy with that double. Tracking all their minor leaguers and what they're up to in spring training and here at the Tucson Qualifier. Michael Arroyo, a name that you'll be hearing a lot of this year.
Oh, yeah. Very young, a lot of potential for growth, but already just such a solid player.
And showing a good eye, on the verge of getting aboard for the 3rd time.
This Team Colombia offense has taken a little while to kind of really get going. Yesterday, it was the same kind of, same kind of feel. They scored 5 runs, but it felt like they could have scored a lot more. They had a lot more hits than that. But today, we're starting to see the power. We're starting to see those balls driven in the gaps, driven over the wall by Marriaga. There he is.
He's still smiling about that home run.
Oh, yeah, I would be too.
3-1, the kick from Zhao. And it's jammed to 3rd. Back up on it is Zhang. Long throw across. What a stretch. Yu Yang Lee with the split. Some gymnastics, and he hauls it in for the 2nd out.
Hey, that's our 2-way guy over there at first base. Pitcher slash first baseman showing off the athleticism, the flexibility, that big long stretch. Look at this. This is why we love left-handed first basemen. They always do weird stuff like that. Whoa. What a split.
If you have tender hamstrings, turn your eyes away, because man, some serious dexterity and flexibility from Yu Yang Lee over at first. And there's a strike dropped in there on Harold Ramirez, who has set a WBC record, by the way. No player in the history of this tournament in either a qualifier or main tourney has ever hit into 4 double plays. Harold Ramirez the first. And I'm not sure if he asked for time and didn't get it, but he just stared at strike 2.
Yeah, he was not ready for that pitch.
Ramirez did have an RBI infield single as last time. Pretty amazing when you look at what he's done the first 2 games. And right there, he chases way out of the zone, and Jun Lau comes in and gets 3 quickly, but not before Jesus Marriaga added to his lure with a booming drive to left. It's 5-1 Colombia through 4.
The new pitcher for Team Colombia is right-hander Victor Vargas, who takes over with a 5-1 lead here in the 4th inning. Rio Gomez gave Colombia 3 innings. And we get a quick timeout because they're waiting for China's third base coach to get out there. So Rio, 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 unearned run, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Impressive night.
There he is, the eternal Ray Chang.
Team China legend now coaching. Big part of their success at WBC qualifiers in years past.
You know, the last WBC, he hadn't played in 6 years, and they asked him to come back and play for the team and also coach. This is his first time being a coach only.
There's a strike from Vargas. You said has some pretty good pedigree.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, talk about somebody who means so much, the way Jendrik Speer means so much to the German Baseball League. Same thing with Ray Chang. He means so much to the development of baseball in China. Runs the development camps that have popped up, 4 of them throughout China. And Ray Chang is leading all of that, trying to really take China into the next level of success in baseball. That new league formed in China, 4 teams of professional baseball. Ray Chang played, he coaches, and now he's coaching for this national team as well.
1-2 on the way from Vargas. And Chen, after breaking his bat, fouls it off at the plate. So Ray Chang, we'll get into some of his backstory in a little bit, but after retiring from that 2017 WBC, he took over as manager of baseball operations for MLB's Player Development Initiative in Nanjing, China. Perfect guy to lead that initiative, knowing his impacts on baseball in the country. And that's a really good slider. Dancing off the outside, Vargas opens up his night with a strikeout.
Yeah, great pitch there by Vargas. Sometimes you just go with the slider when you know you got that swing and miss. One of the things I find really interesting and cool about Ray Chang is that he actually grew up in the States, but has now moved full-time to China. He lives in China. He's lived there for the past, I think, 7 years, and really doing everything he can to grow baseball. Such an awesome, lofty goal. Difficult thing to do.
Victor Vargas working both sides of the plate. He ties up Zhang for strike 1. Zhang reached on an infield single and scored the lone China run in the 2nd. Vargas wasting no time and continues to pound the zone. 0-2. You said it, Ray Chang grew up in the U.S., was born in Kansas City to Chinese immigrants. His mother from Shanghai, his father from Hong Kong. 275 games at AAA. And that one came too far inside. Zhang unable to get out of the way, and he takes his lumps on 0-2.
I don't know. I think he's pretty happy about that hit by pitch. 0-2, kind of one that just grazes the leg. Pretty much the perfect situation. Now that on-base percentage climbs. Take a look at Ray Chang's career in the WBC. Look at those numbers. 13 games at .310 average, 6 RBI. Played in the WBC
hands
4 times. I mean, it's like playing the Olympics 4 times, you know? I mean, every 4 years to be able to extend that long. I mean, you're playing for at least 17 years in order to get that, and that's, I mean, that longevity, just incredible. And he's such a great guy. Talked to him on the phone for a while getting ready for this qualifier. He loves this team. He loves the baseball development in China. Really thinks that they are on their way.
And you said that the connection was made through our mutual friend John Morosi.
Morosi is so helpful. Getting to, get phone numbers for people to figure out how we can, we want to get to know these players because we want to let everybody know who these guys are. And Ray Chang's such a great source because he knows Chinese baseball better than anybody in the world.
Big swing and a miss by Lee. I was standing in my kitchen back home in New Jersey a few nights ago and got a text message from JP. He had texted both of us to tell us about Nick Wickren of Germany,
right?
Who we saw pitch earlier today in their loss to Brazil. Lee, a sacrifice bunt in the 2nd. Down in the count here, 1-2. Jair Camargo just getting ready to pop up and make something happen. He is a spark plug behind the plate for Colombia.
You know, I compare catchers a lot of times to offensive linemen. They're not necessarily fast in a sprint, but in a short area, they're so quick. Their first step, getting out in front of home plate or dropping down to a knee to block a ball, that those movements are so quick that it's kind of deceiving because their run speed, not very fast, but they're side to side in a small area, incredibly quick.
They're dancing bears.
There you go.
Right? They can get from A to B. Don't make them go to C.
Correct, exactly.
So Rio Gomez got things started with 6 strikeouts over 3 for Colombia. Vargas struck out his first man. He plunked Zhang and is now trying to dispose Lee on 2-2. Runner goes, pitch home, popped up. Urshela giving it a look, off third, plenty of room. And the runner gets back. Good recovery by Zhang to scramble to first.
So Zhang was 100% going there. I don't know if you had your eyes on him, but
oh, yeah,
he was leaning heavy towards second base. I think if you were to hold maybe a little bit of an extended hold on the mound here, let him start leaning and pick over, you'd probably be able to get him.
Shuai Wang struck out looking to end the second, trying to mount something here for China, down 4 in the 4th. And it's in tied for ball 1. So now that we've seen how everything plays out, China will play Brazil tomorrow, and then Colombia will tangle with Germany to wrap up our 3 days worth of doubleheaders. Runner bluffs, pitch rolled over left side. Acuna, the shortstop, gloves high, had a tough time getting it out, but still able to recover in plenty of time. On to the 5th we go. It's 5-1 Colombia here on Monday night.
College athletes to Little League sluggers. Their best-in-class doctors will help you get back at the top of your game as quickly and safely as possible. The Sports Medicine team at Miami University Medicine, where your road to recovery begins.
Do you have 5, 3, 6, 2
And turn your attention.
We welcome you back to Keno Veterans Memorial Stadium here in Tucson, Arizona. Alongside Stephen Brault, I'm Greg Caserta. We thank you for joining us for Game 2 of our Monday doubleheader. And 4 of 7 here at the Tucson Qualifier. 4 teams vying for the last 2 spots in next year's WBC. And Lun Zhao, after going 3 up and 3 down to end the 4th inning, starts off Reynaldo Rodriguez with a strike. Reynaldo still looking for his first hit. As he checks up, a ball and a strike. Hit by a pitch and a stolen base in the first. Struck out to end the second.
2 walks yesterday, so he's been on base 3 times. That's a stolen base, too.
He still fills out the uniform really well. You see some guys on the wrong side of 35, and they just don't look like they have that athletic build anymore. But Reynaldo Rodriguez clearly still in prime shape, which is why his manager, the same age as him, Jose Mosquera, said, we're going to have to rip the uniform off this guy.
He's never going to stop playing on his own. It's incredible to see. There are, you know, there's places for guys to keep playing, you know. Reynaldo Rodriguez has made his home in the Colombian Winter League.
Zhao with the 3-1. And there's another walk. So Reynaldo Rodriguez doesn't have a hit yet, but he's getting on. Gio Urshela had his best years with the New York Yankees. This one of his best. And he went spilling into the Rays dugout. They immediately went to check on him. A scary moment indeed, but he was able to walk off under his own power. And he became a fan favorite in New York. It was because of an early season injury to Miguel Andujar in 2019. Urshela became the starting third baseman and had his best year in 2019. 132 games, .314 average. Hit 21 home runs, drove in 74. And became a fan favorite in New York. Still in the American League with the A's. They signed him to that one-year deal right before Christmas.
I know not quite the same play, but very reminiscent of the Jeter diving into the first row. Just absolutely zero regard for his own body, running straight into the dugout, full speed. I mean, you can't see what happened down at the bottom there, but it could not have felt good.
Just an old school ball player. Gio off balanced on the swing. And Rodriguez thinking that it got through the wickets untouched, has to go back after the foul.
That's a pro's pro.
Gio, 33 years old, from Cartagena, Colombia. Eventually was traded with Gary Sanchez to the Twins late in spring training in 2022. An ill-fated trade for Josh Donaldson, Isaiah Connor-Falefa, and Ben Rortvedt. These fans were not really happy about that one at the time. And that one's launched through the right side. Base hit for Gio. Rodriguez will now go to third because Benjamin boots it in right. Throw to second. Urshela slides. He takes the extra base. And the veterans are savvy. Colombia set up with second and third and nobody out.
Yeah, taking advantage of a big mistake out there in right field. I just love to see Gio going the other way. I feel like that's when he's at his best, is when he's staying inside the ball and just, it's kind of a fillet, but a fillet with power. Look at this. That was down the middle and down. So he could have chosen to wrap around that and pull it, but instead just drives it through that right side and just taking the eye off the ball out there in right field by Samuel Benjamin. And that could end up being a very big error.
Even without the wind, it's been a tough one for the right fielders today here in Tucson. The infield in for Camargo. And he swings through, big cut. Notice that Gio, when he hit that ball the other way, his back foot on his follow-through kind of kicked out.
Yeah, the kick out.
Towards the back corner of the batter's box.
Bryce Harper huge on the kick out.
Just missing inside on Camargo, who's 0 for 2. So watch the back leg. There it goes. And then Gio reads this well because he's watching Benjamin, and then once that ball squirts away, there he goes. So Colombia capitalizing on the Benjamin error. And China's feeling it right now. Down 5-1. It could get a lot worse here.
Very reminiscent of what happened yesterday. China making mistakes. And, you know, yesterday it was Germany taking advantage of those mistakes. Today, Colombia trying to do the same.
Camargo's got a chance to drive in a pair. He's 0 for 2. Had an RBI yesterday. And everything's been down here from Zhao.
Just trying to keep the ball on the ground. See if he can get a ground ball to shortstop or second baseman. I am interested to see in a 3-1 count here. I don't think you want to lay one down the middle to Camargo. I want to try to get him to maybe expand the zone a little bit.
The problem is that there really isn't a hole in this Colombia lineup. Dilson Herrera is on deck. And now they're loaded on his birthday. Speaking of the bases loaded, let's go back to Game 2 of the 2020 Wild Card Series when there were no fans in the ballpark, an empty Progressive Field, but a home run that Gio will remember forever. Against Cleveland, his former team, the Yanks were down 4-1, and that grand slam gave them a 5-4 lead. The home run off James Karinchak. Yanks would eventually win that game 10-9. One of his many prime moments in pinstripes. And now they're loaded for Dilson Herrera, the birthday boy, who's already 1 for 2 with a single and a run.
I mean, going back to that grand slam, that ball was crushed. You don't see balls go that far up in the seats in Cleveland very often. One of my favorite ballparks in the country, by the way.
As a fan or as a player?
As a player.
Oh, and why is that?
It's just so cool. I don't know. It's just a fun environment.
More on that in a moment. A China pitching change. We'll be back right after this. From right-hander Lun Zhao to lefty Wei Zhao, the 22-year-old from Inner Mongolia, China, takes over here with the bases loaded and nobody out. Dilson Herrera's got a chance to bust this baby open, and he goes after the first one, squirting it foul past Reynaldo Rodriguez.
Big slow curveball there. Try to get an aggressive Herrera out in front. Worked to perfection. That one you kind of wish had stayed fair. Probably getting that out at home, maybe even back over to first.
Zhao, just one of many fresh-faced Chinese pitchers, so young. But they've been together a long time, like we've talked about. The 0-1 peels inside. He represented China in last year's U23 World Cup. That's another stage where they were able to develop and grow together, and he shined. 7 shutout innings in a 4-0 win over Nicaragua. Is 1-1. And that's lined to second. Caught before it hit the ground. Nice play by Hu. The runners hold, and there's one away.
A good job base running. Nobody getting a little over anxious and taking off. The runner at third base may have had a play over there, but it would have been tough to get that throw all the way to third in time.
I was also worrying about Urshela potentially getting nabbed off second. Watch Gio right here. Whoops.
Broke the wrong way just a little bit. We saw that earlier, too.
And some infielders might let that bounce and look for 2, but Hu just wanted the out, and he got it. So 1 down. Brian Buelvas at the plate. Hit that rocket of a triple to center field his last time, after flying out to right in the second. Bases full for Colombia. Corners in. And that curveball swivels over for a strike.
Tall task for Zhao coming in with the bases loaded, nobody out. But if you come in these situations, usually that's because your manager has confidence that you can throw strikes. That's the #1 most important thing. Can't be walking runners in.
He had Herrera 1-1. Now it's Buelvas 1-1. Zhao also pitched in the California Winter League this offseason, one of many on this China squad to take part in that Winter League. 19 innings, an ERA under 1.5. He's had a good year plus. But a tough task right here. Now 3-1 with Wong stopping it out in front of the plate.
Yeah, good stop there. But that curveball just really, if you're going to throw a big slow curveball, you need to make sure that it's starting as a ball and ending more of a strike to get that missed timing.
Yes.
Correct.
Middle infielders looking for 2 here. Zhao to the plate. And
That was a good one for Cuevas. He wants that one back. Just tapping himself on his helmet, knowing I got one. I just might not get another like it.
That's what they say. Usually get one in a bat. Then you take advantage.
You feel that one. Now a big 3-2 from Zhao. And it's popped up softly to shallow left. Joe, long run in. Joe is there, makes the catch. And Rodriguez draws the throw.
Nice throw.
China's got 2 outs now.
Normally, I say hit the cutoff man. In that situation, make sure that guy can't score. Get that throw in. I always tell outfielders, worry about quick release more so than a hard throw, because the quicker that ball gets in the air, the harder it is for a runner to feel like he can take that extra base. So good job just catching that, get rid of it. Good play out and left by Joe.
Yep. From bases loaded, nobody out, to 2 outs, and no runs in for Colombia. But Mariaga's up after his 2-run bomb back in the 4th. And there's a strike. Wong was getting ready to give a little eye check to Rodriguez down at 3rd.
Third baseman not covering. I think that was more to scare Rodriguez than anything else.
Mariaga home run just launched into orbit. Got some fans out on the berm hoping for another souvenir. We talked about it early with Hai Jin Woo throwing frisbees all over the place, but Shuai Wang has been really good getting down and keeping these baseballs close.
The quick drop to the ground, you can see that. Look at that. Knees to the ground, glove on the ground, and angling the body forward to keep it in front of you instead of letting it bounce off to the side. Great technique.
Perfect form. Does it again. 2-1.
You can tell that's a guy who cares a lot about his craft behind the plate. Good feeling as a pitcher when you know that guy behind the plate cares just as much, if not more, than you do about runs crossing home plate.
Numbers are funny in baseball because Jesus Mariaga, over the course of 4 minor league seasons in the D-backs organization, hit 1 home run in 224 games. He's got one here tonight. And he was looking for another right there, 2-2.
Yeah, big swing. But a better pitch. Started over the plate, looks like a strike. Dives below the zone at the last second. Mariaga frustrated with himself for offering it that one.
This could be a huge moment in this game to keep China in it. Wei Zhao digging deep, kicks and holds. And that one stays close enough once again. Wang putting on a display behind the plate.
I just love to see that. Just constant, full 100% effort.
That was a scramble to get back. There was some desperation behind that one.
Oh, yeah. But you just got to love guys taking pride in their craft, no matter what it is. Back there behind the plate today.
I would fire you up on the mound, right?
Oh, of course.
So the runners will be on the move with this 3-2. Big point in this game. Line the other way, base hit for Mariaga. 1 run in. Urshela's in. Mariaga stealing the show here tonight. He's got 4 ribbies for Colombia.
Just an unfortunate mistake of a pitch after what was a really good at-bat by Mariaga, but also a good at-bat by the pitcher, Zhao. Unfortunately, just that one leaves it up, and Mariaga does exactly what you're supposed to do. Don't try to do too much. He already tried to hit the homer this at-bat. Now he just shortens up with 2 strikes, quick to the ball. Line drive to the other side, gets himself 2 nice ribbies, and Benjamin struggling with that ground ball out there in right field.
Those 2 runs charged to Lun Zhao. Wei Zhao gives up the hit. And now it's swung on and lifted to center. Li Yang waits. And Acuna flies out to end the inning. But Jesus Mariaga adds to the lead. He's driven in 4 runs, and Colombia's got a 7-1 lead.
A look at the upcoming schedule. One final day of a doubleheader tomorrow. China and Brazil getting things started at 11 a.m. local time, and then the nightcap between Germany and Colombia. Colombia on its way to a 2-0 start, which puts them in position to advance to the WBC. Qirei Wu takes ball one. It's the 5th inning for Team China. Suddenly staring down a 7-1 deficit after the 2-run single the other way from Jesus Mariaga, who's driven in 4 of the 7 Colombia runs tonight. Now, Team China, like we talked about over the course of the last day or so, they participated in all 5 WBCs, but they're now in danger of missing their first tournament. And when we spoke with manager Whaley the other day, he said, there's no difference between this qualifying event or any other tournament we've been in. There's no need to create added pressure, and my job as the manager is to take that off their plates. But it has been very tough. They've run into 2 buzzsaw offenses. Germany yesterday 12-2, and now Colombia at 7-1. And again, if this game does get split up by 10 runs in the 7th, we saw it happen to China yesterday on the wrong end of a 12-2 game. Vargas with a walk to Wu to begin the 5th. China 2-14 overall. Now, you look at the first 2 WBCs, there were no qualifying events that were held. And while they've been in every tournament, their last win came in 2013 over Brazil, who they will see tomorrow morning to begin our doubleheader. 2 years ago in the WBC, 2023, 0-4 against Japan, Australia, Korea, and the Czech Republic. And they were outscored 50-10 in those 4 games.
Yeah, over those 5 WBCs, they've given up 152 runs and only scored 24. Young country when it comes to baseball, still learning the ropes, and like we talked about a lot, this team itself is very young.
Ground ball back to the mound. Vargas wings it to second, on to first. Too easy. Double play. And we've seen the pitchers do a little of everything. Stephen Brault loves when his old mates get to start a twin killing.
Fundamentals, baby. PFPs. Good play here by Vargas. Gets that ground ball, takes his time, sets his feet, makes a good solid throw back to second base. And of course, the turn from Acuna also takes his time. Throws a nice, sharp sidearm toss to first base. Gotta love to see it.
First time they've solved Tenyuan Hu. Prior to that double play, had a couple of singles. Now it's Pei Li Yang, who was just brilliant yesterday. 3 for 4 with a couple of runs, but tonight he struck out twice. Vargas gets a swing and a pop-up on the infield. Arroyo called off, and Rodriguez has it to retire the side. Fast and easy to the 6th we go. Colombia up 6. Back here at Keno Veterans Memorial Stadium in Tucson, Arizona, alongside former Pirate and Cub Stephen Brault. I'm Greg Caserta, producer Mike Trainer, and the rest of our crew. Happy to be with you as we get ready to wrap up our second straight day of doubleheaders here in the desert. One more coming your way tomorrow, beginning at 11 a.m. local time. That's 1 o'clock Eastern. China and Brazil, and then Germany and Colombia to wrap up the early portion. The off day Wednesday, and then the crucial game, second place against third place winner, gets into the WBC Thursday night. So Michael Arroyo leading things off here. It's jammed and fouls it away. Arroyo up for the fourth time. He's been hit by a pitch, doubled in a pair, and last time up, grounded out to third. That was the play where Zhang threw across the way, and Yu Yang Lee went into a full split to reel it in.
That was nice.
Still feeling that one. Down low from Wei Zhao, who we talked about it after that top of the fifth came to an end, Stephen, how agonizingly close China got to extinguishing that threat. Could have held it at 5-1, but instead Marriaga on a 3-2 pitch with 2 outs, singled the other way, and it's been his night, 4 RBIs.
Yeah, it seems to hurt a little bit more as a pitcher when you come in a spot, bases loaded, nobody out. You get your 2 outs, then you get to 2 strikes, and then those runs score.
Speaking of Marriaga, following the Arroyo walk, here's what he did. This one was just punished, and that young man got a souvenir. And then the at-bat got deep, and he shows his opposite field ability with that poke.
We've seen him go all over the field. We've seen hard line drives to left, hard line drives to right, that bomb out to left center. It has been all Marriaga this first 2 days of this qualifier.
Breaking ball to Ramirez, in for a strike, and there he is, nice and easy. 2 for 4 with a double and a ribby yesterday. 2 for 3 with 4 knocked in here tonight. Harold Ramirez has an RBI, 1 for 3.
And I think the Marriaga story is the essence of the World Baseball Classic. A guy who maybe right now is trying to play for a spot to get back into affiliated baseball.
Runner goes, pitch down, throw to second. That's a nice one. What a seed from Shuai Wang. So he's much more than just bouncing around behind the plate. He's got the arm to go with it, and he nabs Arroyo for the out.
What a great throw by Wang. Seen all those blocks, but nice to see he's also got the cannon behind the plate. Quick release, perfectly on the bag. Couldn't make a better throw than that.
Tenyuan Hu, the second baseman, applied the tag, and it clears the bases for Ramirez.
This is the kind of game that if you're the pitcher, you're buying this guy a steak later tonight after the game. Blocking so many balls behind the plate, throwing a guy out after you let him on with a walk. I mean, it's such a great feeling. That's part of that pitcher-catcher relationship that I think gets kind of overlooked a lot of times. Pitchers appreciate that a lot more than people give it credit for, because we know how hard it is. And also, when guys are taking your runs off the board for you, you just want to award them any way you can.
Arroyo had a stolen base in the first inning. This time he's negated. High chopper to short. Quick transfer and a throw. Nice play by Wu. China's defense a little bit better. They have committed an error, but had a couple of really nice plays, especially here in the 6th.
Yeah, that one, another one, had to very quick transfer from Wu. High hop. Ramirez running down the line. A nice play, quick transfer, solid, strong throw.
We've got a call to the bullpen. China going back to the well. We'll tell you who's coming in right after this. Tianjin native Jay Zhou, one of many youthful pitchers on this China roster, 23 years young. First represented China in the U18 Baseball World Cup, was also part of the U23 World Cup last year, making 2 appearances for the Chinese national team. He is the 4th reliever of the night for manager Wade Lee, and takes over for Wei Zhao, who didn't do a whole lot of bad outside of that 2 RBI single to Mariaga.
Yeah, I thought he looked pretty good. And, you know, this is a big moment for this young player. First time pitching in the WBC. Qualifiers for him. You know, there's going to be a little extra nerves, a little extra excitement. And a tough task ahead of him, 3, 4, 5. Rodriguez, Urshela, and Camargo.
Facing the current Mr. Baseball in Colombia, Reynaldo Rodriguez, who's been on twice more here tonight. That's at the letters for a strike. So Rodriguez and Harold Ramirez really haven't made that much of an impact, and yet Colombia has outscored their first 2 opponents 12-1 up to this point.
I think what a little bit of a surprise in a good way for us has been the Colombian pitching staff. We knew that their offense was going to be a force, but seeing this pitching staff holding 2 teams to 1 run through 14 innings is a pretty good place to be.
Rodriguez lifts it high down the right field line. Drifts out of play. I mean, just look at Rio Gomez tonight, Steven, making the start for Colombia. 6 strikeouts over 3 innings. I think that Vargas, a late add to the roster, he's through 2 hitless innings of relief. All in all, it's like you said, a pleasant surprise, and one that Colombia can hang their hats on. Rodriguez strokes it down the right field line. Will this one stay fair? It does. It was a late call from the first base umpire, but Reynaldo Rodriguez pulls in with his first base hit of the qualifier, and that dugout really gets loud when their leader gets aboard.
I just love the approach of this Colombian team. We're seeing a lot of balls hit to the opposite field. As you mentioned earlier, to me, I don't think you said it, all right-handers in this lineup for Colombia. And so seeing so many balls get hit squared up to the right side is a really good sign for a team that's clearly the plan is wait back, get a good pitch to hit on the outside corner, and just drive it that way.
We get shielded from our broadcast perch once it gets deep into those corners, 340 feet away, but first base umpire Trevor Daniger was all over it. And it appears that Gio Urshela's night is done. Colombia going to the bench. And it's Fabian Pertus. Batting for the first time in this WBC qualifier. Gio gets the rest of the night off. Finishing 1 for 2 at the plate with a single and a run. Likely a straight swap at third base. Pertus, another righty. And he's quickly behind here, 0-2.
Now I kind of want to go through this roster and see how many lefty hitters they even have.
That'll be your next homework assignment.
Yeah.
Joe trying to finish the 6th. Almost. Fabian Pertus from Barranquilla, Colombia, the baseball hotbed down in the country. That's where a lot of these players play in the Colombian League. Of course, we've talked about Jose Mosquera and his success there, winning 4 of the last 5 league championships.
Confirmed, Colombia has 1 left-handed hitter, Tres Gonzalez.
Wow. He's special.
Yeah, he got to be the weird one.
You hear the grunt from Joe from 0-2. It's now 3-2. Pertus also made Colombia's last WBC roster. Got a chance to play against the U.S., finishing 1 for 3 in that 3-2 loss. And this is another guy that's really playing himself back into affiliated ball for a job. A good at-bat right there to rally and work a walk. Because for the first time in his career, he is a free agent after spending the last 6 seasons in the Cubs organization.
And this just misses down below the zone. Good frame behind the plate.
All you junior umpires around the world can decide for yourselves.
I just want to let you know the strike zone has technically changed. It used to be the bottom of the knee. Now it is not. Now it is the top of that knee bone, the patella.
Another swap for Colombia. Carlos Martinez in for Jair Camargo, which is a good thing because Camargo was pretty busy behind the plate tonight.
Definitely got his work in. Looked good back there, though.
Yeah, he did.
Nice plays bouncing around.
0-for-2 with a walk at the plate. Zone tightening up. We saw that plenty in game 1 earlier today of our doubleheader. That strike zone that got a little bit tighter for both Brazil and Germany. Brazil hanging on for a 9-7 win. Both of those teams now 1-1. Scorched foul by Martinez, 1-2.
We've had some good baseball in this tournament, and I think to see Colombia, shut out Brazil yesterday, and now hold China to a run yesterday or today, it kind of makes you curious for tomorrow. They're playing Germany tomorrow. The offense from Germany has really showed to be a strong unit.
1-2, broken back roller. We've seen plenty of those in this qualifier, but it stays foul. Carlos Martinez, 29 years old, was a mainstay in the Braves organization from 2013 to 2021. You get another look at the toothpick right here.
Just a nice shear of that bat. Look at that. You could still use it for cricket now.
Make some good kindling. Over 8 minor league seasons, he threw out 37% of base stealers, which is just an unreal number. Like, nobody even flirts with that.
No, that is a cannon of an arm, and you have to be incredibly accurate too in order to get those outs. Doesn't matter how hard you throw it if it's nowhere near the bag.
He's been battling Joe here. He's fouled off the last 2. Another 1-2. And it's grounded off the pitcher, but he recovers. Nice play by Joe. And he gets out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th. All Colombia in this one, up 7-1. Baseball's fun, and these two are having the time of their lives. So are they. Yes, you won, kid. That's the home run ball from earlier.
Nice grab.
Nice grab. He brought the glove, and he got to use it. His buddy saying, "Can I have it?" He goes, "No, you didn't bring your glove. That's mine." And now we're back for the bottom of the 6th inning. New pitcher, second one out of the Colombia bullpen, is Jean Herrera, 24-year-old from Cartagena, Colombia.
Growing up going to Padres games, I took glove to the field every day.
You did?
Every time. I wanted to do everything I could to get as many baseballs as possible.
Ever get a souvenir?
Oh, yeah. Sat in the outfield, got a few home runs.
On the inside corner for strike 2. Yi Zhou, Samuel Benjamin, Jiaji Chen. Not only the change on the mound for Colombia, but also a couple on the infield as well. You've got Fabian Pertuz over at third base. He pinch hit for Gio Urshela. And Carlos Martinez remains in the game at catcher after pinch hitting for Jair Camargo.
Swing and a miss. Herrera starts his night with a strikeout. He's got Joe for out number 1.
3 years in the minor leagues for Herrera. Had a 2.69 ERA and a 9.1 record in the minor leagues. Never got further than rookie ball, though.
I always wonder why things like that just don't materialize for certain guys.
I have no idea. I really don't.
It's not much of an investment, I guess. Samuel Benjamin keeps it fair and hugs the line at first. Rodriguez takes care of it on his own. Samuel Benjamin now 0 for 7 out of the cleanup hole for China.
Yeah, you can see some frustration coming from Benjamin. A little bit of difficulty out in right field with some ground balls, but at the plate, just not quite feeling himself. That's the best contact he's made. So you hope maybe he'll be able to take that at-bat into the next one. And all the at-bats tomorrow. Get himself a few knocks, feel good about the tournament.
First pitch swinging is Jiaji Chen, deep to right. Mariaga reaches out and he's got it. What a night for Jesus Mariaga. He can do it all. Hit dingers, driving 4, and have an adventure. Eyeing it the whole way, reaching out just shy of the track to send us to the 7th.
Like hit it.
Seventh inning starts at Keno Veterans Memorial Stadium here in Tucson. He's Stephen Brault. I'm Greg Caserta. Dilson Herrera leading off for Colombia with his 7-1 lead, inching closer to a 2-0 start here in the Tucson qualifier. 4 teams entered. Only 2 will walk out of here as WBC entrants. Herrera tonight 1 for 3 with a single and a run on his 31st birthday. We'll say this, a lot of these Colombia hitters, they never get cheated on their swings.
No, big swings, and you know what? Big swings early in counts, but we've seen them shorten up with 2 strike counts. It's exactly how you want to approach an at-bat. Get your swing off early and then protect. But I think people have started to realize more swinging and missing is okay. You can swing and miss early in the account, and that's better than rolling over on a weak ground ball to the left side. Then with 2 strikes, then you shorten it up, just try to get that barrel to the ball.
Joe palms that one outside. Herrera located it right out of his hands. Dilson Herrera was on Colombia's WBC qualifying teams in 2013 and 2017. He was 4 for 11 with a homer and 3 RBIs in 2017. Fastball fired low. And it's Joe. The 4th reliever of the night for China. You get another look at the 2-2. What do you got, Brault?
I got that low.
Brault, you are unforgiving, man. I got to tell you, I figured you'd be very pro pitcher, but you call it right down the middle.
Hey, the strike zone is the strike zone, all right?
Mr. Integrity, Stephen Brault. That's why we love him. Here's the payoff to Herrera. Soft roller off the end of the bat. Joe's got it. He races. He wins. We love the one unassisted.
Yeah, the second one we've seen. Another good play. That's the one. When you come off the mound like that, you're already running full speed. There's no point in tossing that ball to first base, adding to the confusion. You just take it yourself.
Can we get a look at how the motor started right there?
He took off.
We could call J. Joe the road runner after this one. Watch the feet kicking once he gloves it. Right here.
Look at that. Just a dead sprint to first.
That's awesome.
Leaving nothing to chance.
Don't tell him they're down 6. He's still playing. Brian Buelvas, the hitter. He's tripled and scored, part of a 1-for-3 night at the plate.
Saw Buelvas earlier hanging out with Mariaga in the dugout. Good guy to be around right now. Pick that brain, see what he's seeing.
Pretty good swing on that one, foul. Mariaga is the next man up. I think everybody trying to at least just touch the hem of Jesus Mariaga, just get a small piece of him. Rub off whatever you have on us.
Yeah.
Because Mariaga's been their stud.
Secret stuff Mariaga's got so far in this tournament.
Ball and a strike from Joe. Ooh, that breaker just missed the top of the zone.
I think Buelvas is a guy that you don't really realize. He's only 22 years old. Played 5 seasons in the minor leagues so far.
Do you see this? What the? How are you gonna eat that? What the?
Oh boy, this one's lifted deep left field, back near the wall, and one hop off the base. Buelvas has his second extra base hit. Thought about his second triple, but he hangs on with a 1-out double instead.
All right, well, now you have proof. Hang out by Mariaga, find yourself some barrels in the gap. Double and a triple. Good swing here by Buelvas. Let's take a look at it. This is just a fastball left over the middle of the plate. Gets the hands out in front. We've seen a lot of that. Good swings from Colombia. I just love the approach here. You're not seeing any extra movement. No big swings necessarily. Just straight to the ball.
Brian Barrels Buelvas.
Better than Brittle Bones Brault.
You remember that, huh?
I do. I'll remember it forever.
Here's Jesus Mariaga. And they got to be very careful with this guy right now. Mariaga, 2 hits last night, 2 more tonight. He's driven in 4. The home run he hit in the 4th inning was majestic. It was just a tank.
It was.
And first base is open, so Joe's got to be very picky here on the mound. Challenge them with a changeup instead.
I love that. Let's see, once again, Mariaga goes to pull that one to the left side. Ends up being a changeup away. Pull the string. Can't get to it.
Mariaga really found his footing in independent baseball the last couple of years with the Gary South Shore Railcats in the American Association. 249 games, an average of 290 over those 3 seasons. So, guy, when he gets out there and gets a chance, he hits.
Some guys are like that. Some guys just hit no matter where they are. Where they're on the lineup, where they're playing in the field, who they're playing against.
We talked about it with Brazil. Leonardo Reginado has always had that reputation. Today, that continued, 2 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs.
He had a good day. He looked really good today.
And they want no piece of Mariaga, who's on for the 3rd straight time. Let's take you back to that home run in the 4th. Just watch it.
Just listen to it. Bam. Bam. That's the pure barrel sound right there.
I can't add much to that.
Sometimes you don't really need to, right? I mean, nice hop, skip, and a jump around third base.
We got to do a full review of that home run trot because he had the Sammy skip, he had the hop to gallop into third, and then he started dancing on his way to the plate.
Somebody's having fun.
The 3 judges liked it. Big swing by Acuna, strike 1. Acuna's also been in the mix tonight, 1 for 3 with an infield single and a run.
I really like Acuna down at the bottom of the order. Really good defensive shortstop. We've also seen put a drive on some baseballs.
Acuna overall 2 for 6 in the first 2 games here at the qualifier. Still part of the Pirates organization. So he has spent time in your old stomping grounds in Altoona, Pennsylvania. 15 games with the AA affiliate for the Pirates a year ago, and really didn't do a whole lot because he didn't get a whole lot. He was 9 for 31, which averages out to 290. 3 extra base hits and 3 RBI. So if this guy gets an extended look, he might be able to help out Pittsburgh and potentially be a part of their everyday AA team.
Yeah, Acuna, one of those guys that kind of always in the wrong spot. Maybe somebody ahead of him getting more reps, getting more opportunities. Sometimes you just got to grind it out till you get your time in the spotlight. And when you finally get it, you got to take advantage of those opportunities. Can't miss it when it comes.
And you know firsthand, especially being a former Pirate coming up through their organization, and you could speak on it for so many minor league players, that a lot of times it has nothing to do with you or your ability or what you're producing on the field. So much of it is out of your control as a player.
That's correct. And so if you let the outside things get to you mentally, it can really break you down quickly. So you just gotta keep to yourself, put the blinders on, always looking forward, looking for the next thing.
Acuna out in front of the 2-2. We'll see another.
And it's amazing how many opportunities you'll get if you just hit. Just hit, you know. A guy like Mariaga who's been hitting and hasn't found those opportunities. Now he comes in a tournament like this. You never know. Maybe he plays in the, you know, the Colombian Winter League again this year. Maybe next year we see him in the WBC.
Yeah.
Things can change quickly in the baseball world.
Another 2-2 from Joe. Yeah. Runners go. They had the hit and run on, and Acuna got a good piece.
Yeah, nobody paying attention to those runners on base. Nobody holding them on either. I think we'll see that probably change here. You don't want to. Sometimes it's okay to give away a free bag if you're worried about the defensive alignment. You can't give away 2 free bags. So I think you're going to see a little bit closer hold here.
2/3 of an inning for Joe. 2 hits allowed and 2 walks. 2 doubles, as a matter of fact.
There it is.
And he was smart to step off.
I got to be honest, with that lead he's got off a second, I think you just cheat the second baseman over a little bit, do a drop glove play from second. You got him.
Lobos is just asking for it. Acuna sends one a mile high. Left field. Joe, the shortstop, gives way to Wu. And boy, did he have a hard time with that one. He was somehow able to pull that one off the ground before it got there.
Not an easy play. The night sky here in Arizona, when that ball gets above the light towers, you lose it for a little bit. See how high this one goes. Off the screen, way up there, turning the shoulders.
Now, to his credit, he made the loud call. He spread it out, and then, whoa. Did he catch it? I really thought that Yi Joe had a better chance coming in from left field, but an out's an out. And China's now 1 step closer to getting us to the stretch. They got back pick to first. Quick tag, but Mariaga's in.
They got Joe playing way deep in left field. I mean, he's right in front of the warning track, so I don't know if he even had a chance to get to that ball.
They've had their left fielder, Yi Joe, very deep because of this entirely right-handed hitting Colombian lineup. There's Michael Arroyo, who's been on 3 times.
Something I want to stress with Michael Arroyo that makes him a little bit harder to pitch to.
What's that?
He's a short guy. He's got short levers, but he got a very quick swing, and he stands right on top of the plate. He's daring you to try to go inside and miss over the middle. That way you can get those hands extended.
Pulls this one foul, extending the arms right there. So you're saying that you try and bust him in, and he's got that quick twitch where he can pull like he did right there.
Correct. And if you, guys like him, if you actually get it in on the corner, he's still not going to do anything with it. But he's looking for you trying to go in and leaving it out over the middle a little bit, and those are the pitches that he wants to yank.
Again, it's got to remind people, he's only 5'8", 160. There's a lot in there. Pitch home. Just got a piece, and Wong unable to hang on.
Oh, that's a meaty pitch right there. He's going to be frustrated at himself for missing it. But, you know, I will say this. That's probably the biggest swing we've seen him take. Maybe the eyes lit up a little bit too much.
Rare time he was not in control. Another 1-2 from Joe. Runner goes to third. That one pulled foul again.
Guys like this reminds me as a lefty facing Anthony Rizzo. He would stand right on the plate and he'd dare you to throw it over the outside corner because the outside corner ends up becoming the middle of the plate for him.
When he was still playing with the Yankees last year, the active leader in hit by pitch.
I hit him a few times.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He always took it well. For a guy that got plunked so many times, he always had a pretty good attitude about it.
Well, I mean, he stood on top of the plate.
Comes with the territory. 1-2.
I do think when a guy is really close to the plate, they usually have a really good sense of where that outside corner is. They don't always have a great sense of where the inside corner is, but you see where he is right there, and he's stepping into the plate when he swings, so he's closing it off even more.
And the stuff that's going away from him, he's not even offering at. It's been a really, really fun 2 days watching Michael Arroyo. We heard about him so much in the lead up to this qualifying event, but it's as good as advertised.
Oh, yeah.
Putting the pressure on Joe to make a 3-2 pitch, and I think Arroyo even thought that might have been strike 3.
Yeah, that's the old play it off like you knew it was a walk when really you thought you were walking back to the dugout on strike 3. Either way, the bases are now loaded. Let's take a look where this pitch is. I mean, that's probably down. Let's see. Here's a good angle. Oh, I got that. I got that in the zone.
See that? And you've been very pro hitter these last 2 days, Mr. Brault, so
hitting's way harder than pitching, okay? So you got to give the guys the benefit of the doubt a little bit.
And this dude could swing it. Woo, look out. Harold Ramirez really took out his third base coach right there. That's Ronald Ramirez coaching over at third base.
Ramirez avoids the ball and then points back at Harold. Hey, hit the ball the other way, man. What are you doing?
That Gary Sheffield treatment. Base is juiced for Colombia. That one bounces to the left. Here comes the runner. Yes, sir. Nice read by Brovas, and Colombia moves ahead 8-1.
That's the first time we've seen a ball actually squeak away from the catcher Wong, who's done a great job back behind the plate tonight. That one, sometimes there's not really much you can do about it. That wild pitch is definitely on the pitcher. You see that bounces in front of home plate. Wong does his best to smother it. Does a pretty good job of keeping it close. But Huelvas with a great read immediately breaks to the plate.
1 ball, 1 strike offering. And Ramirez squirts it into right field. Benjamin long run in. He's there, and he just hung on to it. That might have started popping out of the mid. Colombia adds a run. They go up 7 in the 7th.
In case you're just joining us, here's what you might have missed. Colombia got things going in the second inning. Harold Ramirez was in on it with an RBI infield single. The 2-run moonshot from Jesus Mariaga. And Mariaga continued it with a 2 RBI single in the 5th inning. This one happened just a moment ago. Top of the 7th, the wild pitch and the run. Brian Buelvas pushes the lead to 8-1 and pushes us into the bottom of the 7th with David Lordui, the newest pitcher on the mound, after Jean Herrera worked a 1-2-3 6th for Colombia. And this is one of the hardest throwers we've seen in this qualifier. 91 on the gun there from Lordui.
Yeah, I think there was a surprise yesterday. China's starter was throwing 94, 95. We haven't seen anything like that the rest of this tournament.
That's reading 90, but it's got a little more giddy up on it. At least that's what it looks like from here.
Yeah, you know, sometimes based on how a guy throws, you know, his release point or the way that he releases the ball can add a little deception to it.
That foul at the plate by Zhang. This is a game where China only has 3 singles and the 1 run. That belongs to Zhang, who got on in the 2nd inning. They have not had a hit since Tenyuan Wu had the infield single in the 3rd. So 3 singles, 2 on the infield. It's just been that kind of night, and it goes back to what we talked about, how this Colombia offense can bludgeon you, but they're out pitching everybody at this tourney.
They are, and Lordui was one of the guys that they're really going to be depending on. I think they're giving him an inning in this game to make sure that he stays hot and ready to go for tomorrow.
Already had strike 3, but it stays up 2-2. And this has to be so special for David because this is his first time representing his native Colombia internationally.
Only 21 years old. Had an incredible season in 2024. Got himself up to A-ball and an A-ball in 15 innings. He had a .6 ERA. I think that's 1 run. It's giving up 1 run in 15 innings. That's not so bad.
He's trying to become the 15th Colombian-born pitcher in the majors someday. And again, you got to watch how you show up the umpire. 3-2.
Let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, I got that one off as well.
You can tell he's got the stuff, though. 3-2. And give John credit because he's hanging around. Pitch number 10 on the way.
John yet to be retired today. Had a single, was hit by a pitch. And the hit by a pitch was a good at bat. You know, he got to 0-2, found himself in a bad spot. 1 off the leg.
8 strikeouts over 6 innings for Colombia pitchers. Lordui, the 4th of the night. And there it is. He finally gets him. He just went back to the fastball, and why not? Zhang down on strikes. He's taken care of for the first time tonight.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the pitcher rest restrictions. This starts to get really interesting with 2 more games tomorrow, then a day off on Wednesday. They have the game on Thursday. So anybody who pitches 30 innings today still is going to be available for that Thursday game, but will not be available tomorrow.
Yu Yang Lee swings over top the first one from David Lordui.
I think that's probably the hardest part as a manager in a tournament like this that has those pitching restrictions, figuring out the best way to use your staff. When do you save guys? When do you let them go past that mark? You know, it's got to be a little bit of chess match.
Broken bat, looper off the end of the bat. Acuna's there to chase it down. And there is out number 2. Off the bat, Lee thought he might have had something there, but Acuna got there first.
Yeah, Lordui's stuff is really good. He doesn't throw necessarily extremely hard, but I think he must have some good spin on that fastball because it seems faster than it is. He got something going on in left field.
Yeah, it just comes out of his hand differently. This one swung on and lifted down the right field line over towards the corner. Mariaga watches it skip back, and I'll tell you what, the right field grandstand out there has been prime territory for those kids chasing down foul balls, because once it hits that cement, you get some funny hops over there playing off the concrete and the metal. It's really interesting to watch those kids. It's like a game of Plinko.
It is. They got to try to read where that's going to bounce. Good luck.
A ball and a strike on Wang. And you could just see that China just
having a really tough time with these Colombian pitchers. Gomez for 3 in the start. Vargas for 2 innings. Herrera 1, 2, 3 in the 6th. And now Lordui in the 7th. Kid's feeling it. He's only 21.
Oh, yeah. So you keep Lordui in this game for this 1 inning. You don't let him throw over 30 pitches.
No, sir.
So that you can use him tomorrow if you need him. And the game against Germany, we saw that German offense like we've talked about.
Martinez puts the target down. And what I loved watching that right there is that Lordui shook him off twice. When they were in agreement on the 3rd, you could see Martinez kind of pointing at him like, let's go. And I got to imagine as a pitcher that has to get the juices flowing too.
Yeah, remember these guys have really not played together. So they're trying to figure each other out, just like the hitters are trying to figure them out. That relationship between catcher and pitcher oftentimes takes a lot. You know, you got to see some bullpens. You got to see what the guy throws, what he wants to throw.
3-2. Soft tapper off the end, right at first. Rodriguez there. And that's back-to-back perfect innings from a couple of Colombian righties. We go to the 8th. Colombia is 6 outs away from a 2-0 start. Colombia's been dancing the last 2 days here in Tucson. That's their move. I don't know when they decided on it, but it works, boy. They look good. And I think my favorite one, I think I got to give it to, I don't want to call him the old man, but the veteran, Reynaldo Rodriguez, because there's not as much effort, but he still gets that little, little hip rotation in there.
You know, it makes me think they got together that first day, the day before the tournament started. So they did a workout.
That's roped back up the middle. Base hit for the big guy. Reynaldo Rodriguez with his 2nd straight knock.
So yeah,
that's how he greets Don Sairang Hua, the new pitcher for China.
They had one day. They worked out, and then they decided what their celebration was going to be. That's confidence. Guys that know that they're going to get a lot of base hits. And there it is again. Look at him go.
It's been fun.
Look at him giving it back. Yeah,
they love it when he does it. I'm telling you. That's roped to 3rd. Zhang to 2nd. Back to 1st. Play of the tourney.
Wow. Wow. We saw 2 great plays there. 3rd baseman obviously on the dive by Zhang. An unbelievable snag. We saw Urshela going to his right. Now we see Zhang going to his left. What a great stab. Perfect throw to 2nd base. A little bit of a tough feed over to Lee at 1st. But, man, we've seen him stretching like crazy. That's nothing compared to the first one. Great pick, though.
Kid can bend. Great job all the way around. 5-4-3. Zhang to Hu to Lee. And it's all sweet. Fabian Pertus thought he had a base hit into left field. Instead, we get one of the plays of this qualifier. Carlos Martinez waves at that one, a ball and a strike.
Man, I'm still blown away by that play. That was so nice. That was,
you won't find one better.
Right, it was so fluid.
Martinez taps it to short. Wu is there, much easier. And look at that. That's a quick inning for Don Sairang Hua. One more look at this beauty. You can't turn it any better. China's got a highlight here against Colombia. A bullpen game tonight for both of these teams, but Colombia's bullpen has been exemplary. Victor Vargas, Jean Herrera, David Lourdes, and now Carlos Ocampo, who was only added to the roster within the last week after the news that Jose Quintana had been close to signing with the team. And as we reported on before, earlier today, we found out he agreed to a one-year deal to join the Brewers.
Making his way through the NL Central in his later years of his career. He played for the Cubs, too.
He did.
He's got 3 of them.
Fan foul by Chi-Rei Wu. We wonder if Colombia qualifies for the WBC. Quintana would certainly be a part of their rotation plans, assuming health. Wu 0 for 1 with a walk in the 9 spot.
Campo did get up to Double-A in 2022. Struggled that year, though, overall in it. From A-ball to Double-A, didn't get many innings. Last few years, been playing in the Colombian and Mexican Winter Leagues.
This winter, pitching with Vaqueros de Monteria in Colombia. ERA under 3.5 and just over 23 innings. Swing and a miss. And he had Wu all twisted around for out number 1. Here's Jose Quintana. Let's go back. March 10, 2017. Took care of the U.S. Looked like Buster Posey right there at the plate.
Oh, David Murphy.
Daniel
Murphy.
Giancarlo. Your
Young
boy
touch.
Crutch. He did his job. Ground ball to third. Scooped up. Pertus to first. And there's out number 2.
I like going back and looking at those old WBCs, especially when you go back to like the 2006, 2009. You get to see guys like Ichiro playing for Japan. I mean, it's just such a cool event, and it's only getting bigger and better every time we do it.
You and I have been talking about it, how excited we are to get into next year's WBC. Because I think that the enthusiasm for it, the excitement around it is building, and I think it's really going to come to a head next year.
I couldn't agree more. I think it's going to be an absolutely amazing event, and I'm going to watch every single pitch.
I know you are. That I do know.
Yeah.
I can't make that promise. I know you'll deliver on it. In the meantime, Ocampo trying to go 1, 2, 3. And I mentioned this before, but the Chinese have not had a hit since Ten Yuan Hu, who just grounded out, had that infield single with 1 out in the 3rd. Their only base runners since then, 2 walks and a hit batter. Swing and a miss. Ocampo carves him up. Let's go to the 9th. 8-1 Colombia. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of World Baseball Classic Inc. and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. A look back at WBCs from years past. The Netherlands made their mark in 2009. It was cool to see Jose Reyes in that Dominican uniform in 2006. This one popped up. Dilson Herrera off of first. Who wants it? It's the catcher, Shuai Wang. And even though he's been quiet at the plate, like most of this Chinese lineup, Wang has been so fun to watch behind the dish.
I cannot believe that that ended up being the catcher's ball. That ball down the first baseline is going to be a lot easier for the first baseman to get to, but Wang was calling it early. He wanted that ball. He had a good read on it. Not an easy play when that's spinning and tailing back towards the line, but a great play there by Wang.
So Don Sairang Hua back for his second inning because he only needed 5 pitches to get through the 8th. Go back, that unbelievable double play turned around the horn. Started by Mingxin Zhang with that diving stop at third. Pitch to Buelvas, unloaded foul.
I like what we're seeing from Don Sairang Hua. It's a different look, a little more over the top.
Buelvas tonight, you see, 2 for 4, double, triple, couple of runs. Overall, 3 out of 6 in the first 2 games. And this is what we expected from Colombia. Heavy favorites coming in, and like we said in the open, they have delivered on the goods.
Yeah, and it's been the guys you don't expect who have been delivering. Buelvas having a great time. Obviously, we've talked about Mariaga a million times.
This one is hit well, deep left field, but it's going to stay in here for Yi Zhou.
He hit that one the wrong way. If you're going to get this out in left tonight, you really got to keep it a little bit lower, or you got to hit the way Mariaga did to
get it out towards left center.
Win. Yeah.
Yeah, if you get it to the right of that flagpole, you got a real good shot as it juts out to that 388 marker. Down the line, you're asking for trouble. And here he is, the man of the hour, the man of the night. Jesus Mariaga has driven in 4 of the 8 Colombia runs. Another one-sided game here for Colombia. And you could say the same thing for China, although to be honest, this has been a much cleaner game for China than what they had yesterday.
It has been. I mean, it's a different kind of feeling in this game. This is just Colombia's offense has just been unstoppable. And, you know, sometimes that's just going to happen. I don't think we've seen bad play. In fact, we've seen some really good plays from the Chinese defense as well. But, I mean, sometimes guys like Mariaga are just going to do their thing, and there's not much you can do about it.
Jesus chops one on the ground to short. Wu is there. And another stretch at first. Yu Yang Lee does it again. And the fans love it. So do we. Get him into gymnastics because he's got a future there. The split. Wow. 1, 2, 3 we go. Bottom 9. Last chance for China, down by 7. Carlos Ocampo brought the heat in his Colombian debut in the 8th inning. He's back for the 9th with a chance to finish this thing off and cap off 6 hitless innings from Colombia's bullpen, spread out across 4 relievers. All righties after the starter tonight. Rio Gomez struck out 6 over 3 coming from the left side. And the 1 run he allowed was unearned. That's how good Colombia's pitching's been to go along with 8 runs on 11 hits. Joe fouls it off.
And the Colombian team, this is exactly what Jose Mosquera was talking about. This is what he wanted to see. He wanted to see a complete team effort on both sides of the ball, and that's exactly what they've done in these first 2 games.
Joe lets it sail by, 3-1. These 2 teams still have 1 more game to play tomorrow, our final doubleheader. Starts with China and Brazil at 11 a.m. local time, and then Germany and Colombia tomorrow night. Colombia getting the benefit of 3 night games. Didn't have the quick turnarounds here in Tucson. And now a 5-pitch walk. So Ocampo took care of all 3 in the 8th, and he walks Joe to start the 9th.
Yeah, just not really a competitive at bat there.
First base runner since Chi-Rei Wu led off the 5th with a walk for China. Again, their last hit, an infield single by Hu back in the 3rd.
It's tough, man. This Colombian team has been relentless on the pitching side.
A lot to overcome, but Samuel Benjamin would love to just put a feather in his cap right here. What's been an 0-for-7 start through the first 2 games. Maybe try and jumpstart him for the Brazil matchup tomorrow. 2 strikeouts tonight for the 22-year-old. And Ocampo overthrowing now, 2-0.
You're seeing a little bit of a different kind of release from Ocampo in this inning. Just not quite getting all the way out and extended. We look at Team China, still up on the railing.
And I think for them, they knew coming in that they had their work cut out for them. Obviously, you feel good as a group. You feel like you have the pieces in place, but they also knew how young they were. And they knew that Colombia was going to be a big problem. I think every team had a feeling Colombia would be a problem.
I think everybody had a long trip to get here, but China's trip was the longest. And
sure.
You know, they went over to the California Winter League. They played 19 games. They went 14-5 against guys in the California Winter League. Those are guys trying to sign with professional teams, either in independent ball or even an affiliated ball. And so pretty good competition, but younger competition. Now getting put up against more veteran players, of course they're going to have a harder time, but it's still good to see them coming out and playing pretty good baseball. And we're just, I guarantee you, the next qualifiers, we're going to see a better Team China that's going to be very similar when it comes to who is on the team. It's just going to be guys that are going to grow up a little bit, learn the game a little bit more. It's, I mean, I really do think there's a very positive outlook for China in the baseball world.
3-1 now on Benjamin. Returns on this one and lofts it into right field, but right there for Mariaga. Throw back to first, won't be in time. Benjamin's best at bat is best swing, but still unlucky. He's 0 for 4 once again.
Yeah, sometimes when baseball's not going your way, you just gotta grind through it. You know, hitting is tough, really hard. So a guy like Samuel Benjamin, who's really struggled so far in these first 2 games, you got to take what you can get. That one, you did everything you could. You did everything right. It didn't work out for you, but that's the at-bat that you want to focus on and take into tomorrow.
Yeah, Mariaga on the flip side of that, everything going his way. He's made a couple of nice plays in right field. Swing and a miss, strike 2 from Ocampo. He's got Chen in the hole.
How am I ever going to get this clean?
He's one of those high-pressure.
Yeah,
Ground ball to second. Arroyo there. Shovels to second one. Back to first. In time, double play. And unless China challenges, that's your ball game.
Just a complete team victory once again for Colombia. 2-0 now in the first 2 games of this tournament. And both of them just doing a great job on the pitching side. Only 3 hits given up to China here. All 3 of those singles, and all 3 of those in the first 3 innings. After that, just really good stuff from the Colombia pitching staff. Consistent power and production from the offense. And then some guy named Jesus Mariaga who's having 2 days to remember, and they want to continue that into tomorrow.
6 hitless innings and 11 strikeouts from Colombia's bullpen. A big part of the story here tonight. After a 5-0 win over Brazil yesterday, they cruise past China 8-1 and become the only 2-0 team here in Tucson.
Take a look at this double play. Just nice and controlled, but we've seen a lot. Francisco Acuna at shortstop really has a quick release off of second base. We saw that multiple times today. Really close play there at first, but he was out. And so Colombia 2-0, feeling good.
Getting ready for a tangle with Germany tomorrow night. China's got to regroup. A quick turnaround with Brazil coming up tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. local time. Here's that schedule. 2 games left. Doubleheader tomorrow, the off day Wednesday, and then the 2nd and 3rd place game to decide the 2nd and final team going to the WBC on Thursday night. Qualifier play continues through Thursday, March 6th here in Tucson. Our final day of doubleheaders comes to an end tomorrow here in the desert. 4 games down, 3 to go. First up, it'll be China taking on Brazil, fresh off their afternoon win over Germany earlier today. Then in the nightcap, 2-0 Colombia will look to finish the qualifier unbeaten and return to the WBC in 2026. They face Germany tomorrow night. Great job from our entire crew. Mike Trainer, our producer, my partner, Stephen Brault. I'm Greg Casuta saying bye for now, and we will talk to you tomorrow.